Hello, this is Goddess Raven, and this is the Goddess Raven Show. Let's get all into this tea because it's a lot to unpack. Okay, y'all? These celebs, these rappers, these entertainers, these actors, they are doing the most out here. So let's start off with the FBI has released photos of drugs and 1.5. Okay, let me just repeat this, okay? 1.5 million dollars in cash, y'all, from Fetty Wap's alleged drug ring. Ooh, this is not looking, when the alphabet boys get you, it don't look good. So the FBI has released multiple photos of the drugs, the money seized during its investigation into Fetty Wap's alleged drug ring. Last week, the 30-year-old rapper was arrested on allegations that he and 5 others distributed at least 100 kilos of cocaine, heroin, and fentanyl. Bags of cocaine, heroin, and fentanyl were seen in the photos, in addition to 1.5 million in cash. Drug paraphernalia such as metal pipes and hollow boxes were also confiscated and photographed during the bust. Fetty Wap, who was recently released on a $500,000 bond, was arrested along with a whole bunch of other people. And a New Jersey correctional officer, was also arrested too. All of these men, all 6, have been charged with distributing, possession, controlled substances. Fetty and 4 out of the 5 suspects are also charged with using firearms in connection with drug trafficking. The group faces life in prison if convicted. Legal documents claim the investigators discovered the 1.5 million in cash, 16 kilos of cocaine, 2 kilos of heroin, fentanyl pills, handguns, and a large arsenal of ammunition during his investigation to Fetty Wap and 5 others. The Trap Queen rapper was arrested Thursday night, shortly before his Rolling Loud set in New York. While it was initially reported that Fetty Wap was arrested on federal drug charges, new details outline the alleged drug operation in which controlled substances were obtained on the West Coast and brought back and distributed across Long Island and New Jersey. According to an indictment, Fetty Wap, whose real name is Willie Maxwell II, and I'm not going to name all these other people involved, and a New Jersey correctional officer, are all accused of distributing at least 100 kilos of cocaine, heroin, and fentanyl. As alleged, the defendants transported, distributed, and sold more than 100 kilograms of deadly and addictive drugs, including heroin and fentanyl, on Long Island, deliberately contributing to the opium epidemic that is devastating our communities and taking too many lives. This is what the U.S. attorney is saying. Law enforcement claimed the group received the drugs on the West Coast and used United States Postal Service vehicles with secret compartments to smuggle them east. Really? Secret compartments? All 6 men have been charged with conspiring to distribute and possession controlled substances. Fetty and 4 out of the other 5 are also charged with many other. So all of these groups are facing life in prison, y'all. This is not a good look. I mean, geez. Life in prison? Life in prison. That's a long time. This is not good. It's just not good. It's not a good look. Well, on to the next. Whew. Lakeith Stanfield, you know who Lakeith Stanfield is? He was in Get Out. He's also in Atlanta with Childish Gambino, or Daddy. The Judas and the Black Messiah actor admits that he would drink every night after work as he experienced crippling anxiety and suffered silently inside during the production. Lakeith is opening up about his mental health challenges, taking to his social media account. The Judas and Black Messiah actor revealed that he was actually in a pretty bad space mentally while filming this current movie that's now, everybody's getting geared up for The Harder They Fall. On Thursday, November 4th, the 30-year-old actor shared a video of himself on set where he was connecting with one of his horses. In the caption, he detailed his personal emotional journey during the production. The worst part of filming this movie was that I was in a pretty bad mental headspace. I couldn't see what life had in store to teach me about myself that I needed to know. I love the horses so much because of their silent strength and beautiful patience with my reluctant fear at having never rode a horse before. Sometimes, you could find a beauty and your mind could be so, become distracted with learning something new and dealing with the challenge of it that it can actually, yeah, help you definitely, overcome anxiety, depression, and all those that vicious cycle that a lot people can get into. So I'm glad that he was able to like knock himself out of it by like focusing on in the now of the experience of learning how to ride a horse, getting on the horse, touching a horse. It can be very therapeutic. So Lakeith elaborated further that one day a horse he named Magnolia, bucked him off. At that moment, he said that he heard the horse loud and clear say, "Be strong or get off." Really? You heard the horse say this to you? The Atlanta Star added, "I took control of the reins and eventually we bonded so much so that it was emotional for me to leave the farm once I wrapped." Aww. In love how they don't judge you. I love how they are always reliable and unconditional. Lakeith explained. He added, "Now all I had to do was learn to take control of my life in that same way." Lakeith also confessed that every day on the set, he was experiencing crippling anxiety and suffering silently inside. To overcome the issues, he admitted that he would drink every night after work and try to laugh off his pain. Fighting as I thought about how he had to fight to survive, how the youth in Chicago has to fight every day to survive. Here's to fighting through the trauma to get to myself, Lakeith continued. Here's to almost five, well, here's to almost 6 months of sober. Here's to the fact that the bigger the goal got had. Okay, the bigger I know. Here's to the fact that the bigger the goal God has for them, the taller they stand and the harder they fall. Sometimes people like really, I guess, don't understand Lakeith because he is like Lakeith Stanfield is a little bit different. He reminds me of a hippie caravan kind of love, vibe. He has that, I don't know, Andre 3000 kind of vibe to him. He's different. He's on his own wavelength, But in this article and really like his social media, I'm really starting to learn that he is a lot deeper than you think. And I kind of like dig his vibe, because I too suffer from a little bit of anxiety, a little bit of, get depressed with certain stuff. And yeah, what helps me knock me out of those little cycles is, learning something new, like getting a new thing of cards or, you know, um, reconnecting with friends, getting out into nature, rock climbing, doing something different. heading to the range. But I love the fact that now more than ever, I like now more than ever that people are becoming more open with talking about depression, anxiety. That's amazing. Like we could talk about, bipolar issues, all of these different things that used to be very shunned before in Hollywood is now becoming more open and it's like it's more talked about, which I think is great. We need to start talking about mental health and those who suffer from different things. I'm happy to see that. And I'm happy he is able to, recenter himself. But what I would like to hear is him actually going to do therapy. Therapy is not a bad thing. I'm telling you, it's not a bad thing to do therapy, y'all. It's not. I think he, should definitely get into that. Just my opinion. I think it'd be good. I think it'd be very excellent for him to get into it. Now, let's get into a little bit of news of Will Smith. Will Smith devastated as son Jaden asked to be emancipated following After Earth disaster. What? The Latin actor opened up on the family drama after his 2013 feature film with son Jaden Smith bombed, and the young star suffered from public mauling. Will Smith's heart shattered when his son Jaden asked to be emancipated minor when he was just 15 years old. What is up with that family? Like they are a section of the woods that I just think is like a hippie caravan of love. Like when I say hippie caravan of love, I mean that means unconventional gypsy kind of lifestyle. They, do their own thing. They go rogue on tradition. They just don't believe in traditional of anything. And that is what I mean when I say hippie caravan of love. So the 53-year-old actor admitted he felt as though he had hurt his son when he asked to be emancipated as a teenager, meaning he would have been free from the control of his parents and given the ability to legally make decisions for himself. Jaden, now 23, asked to be emancipated after he received vicious remarks online following the release of After Earth, which he starred in with his father in 2013. Like, oh my God. Like, can you believe that it's like 2013? Like, I don't know why it felt like this movie came out like last year or 2 years ago, but damn, it's really been that long, 2013. What? So, writing in this is taken from his upcoming memoir, Will. After the Earth was abysmal, it failed in the box office and was just a critical failure. And what was worse was that Jaden took the hit. Fans and press were absolutely vicious. They said and printed things about Jaden that I refuse to repeat. Jaden had faithfully done everything that I instructed him to do, and I had coached him into the worst public mauling he had ever experienced. The bad boy star who has Jaden and 21-year-old Willow with wife Jada Pickens Smith. I don't know why. Is it just me, or did you think? I don't know why. Like which one? I don't know why I thought that Willow was. Oh yeah, I don't know why I thought Willow was older for like 2 seconds, but yeah, Jaden is older. Okay, never discussed the backlash with Jaden, but he knew the youngster had lost trust in his dad's ability to lead. Wait a minute, y'all didn't sit down? Let's like really go back over this. The bad boy star who has Jaden and 21-year-old daughter Willow with wife Jada Pickett Smith never discussed the backlash with Jaden, who he knew the youngster had lost trust in his ability to lead. Now you would think you read the comments that are being made about this man, right? You about your own son in like the media and on his online and all this stuff, and you don't think maybe I should like have a little sit down with him because I know this could be tough for him where he's used to like being box office darling, usually getting praised for his roles and his abilities and stuff. And now he's being criticized. You didn't think that a 15-year-old child would just need that kind of talk like Will? This is what I mean when like totally unconventional and just like, what? Like, what happened? Like a normal father family or something, you would have that sit down talk. But honestly, I really do believe sometimes us as Black folks, we can be very, you know, standoffish. I would say standoffish with our kids, and we don't give that many hugs, and we don't give those talks. And it seems like they don't do that either. Whew. So yeah, we never discussed it. But I know he felt betrayed, he felt misled, and he lost his trust in my leadership. At 15 years old, when Jaden asked about being an emancipated minor, my heart shattered. He ultimately decided against it, but it sucks to feel like you hurt your kids. Wow. The news comes after Will, who also has a son, Trey, 28, with his first wife, recently said he feels as though he failed every woman he interacted with. Speaking in a teaser for his upcoming appearance on the Oprah conversation, he says, I want to tell the truth. I want to let people have it. I've carried most of what I've carried around with me most of my life, the sense of failing every woman I've interacted with. I haven't talked about that publicly. I feel like this is, I feel like this is definitely his letting it all be bare. Like I feel like this is him really bearing all because it seems like it's just nonstop of the mouth with them two just bearing everything. So like the Fresh Prince of Bel Air actor once again admits he was going too far with his method acting and ended up developing feelings for his on-screen love interest, stalkered Shannon. Okay, Will Smith's first marriage got off to a rocky start because he wasn't the same guy his wife had married. Opening up about his private life with his new memoir, the star reveals he couldn't shake the character he played in 6 Degrees of Separation, y'all, when he was at home and developed feelings for his co star. His wife were only married for a few months and they had a brand new baby. And his wife, I can't imagine that this experience was unsettling to say the least. She married a guy named Will Smith, and now she's living with a guy named Paul Portier, mhm, his character name. And to make matters worse, during shooting, I fell in love with Stockard. After the film wrapped, my wife and son Trey and I moved back to LA. Our marriage was off to a very rocky start. I found myself desperately yearning to see and speak to Stockard. Will previously discussed his feelings for the Grease star in an Esquire interview in February of 2015. Explaining the film experience gave him a taste early of the dangers of going too far for a character. My character was in love with Stockard, and I actually fell in love with her in real life. He added that was my last experience with method acting, where you're reprogramming your mind. You're actually playing around with your psychology. You teach yourself to like things and to dislike things. It is a very real and very dangerous place when you get good at it. And I think this is one of the things that Lakeith had to go through. I really believe this is one of the things that Lakeith had to go through. So Will Smith also breaks down, Will Smith also, talks about losing his home, the cars, as he hit rock bottom before doing Fresh Prince. So Will Smith faced financial ruin before he even got to, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air success. The Men in Black star has admitted he went through severe money troubles, losing his cars and his home, and even spent the night in jail before he just hit the stratosphere, fame with his 1990 hit, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Will is coming clean about his tricky past in his new memoir. Okay, in the clip from the Apple TV show shared with the Entertainment TV and Entertainment Tonight, the broadcast legend asked, so right before Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, I think people would be surprised to know this is the first time I realized you basically lost everything. Wow. The government seized your cars. It took your home. You ended up in jail. You described it in 2 words as actually hitting bottom. What was at the root of that downfall, Will, and the life lesson you took from it? The actor explained a radio station fight that saw him put behind bars made him reassess his life. When it rains, it pours. So getting into the fight at the radio station, Charlie punching the dude that landed me in jail. So the money is gone, the car is gone. I'm laying on the floor in jail, in a jail cell. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And he still can't believe how far he's come. So I think out of all this ish that Will Smith is laying down on us, I have to admit that this is the best part of it because he's telling us, I hit rock bottom. I hit my lowest point, and my lowest point for me was the government coming in and seizing my cars. The lowest point for me was my ass was up in jail, and I'm laying on the dirty floor of the jail, assessing my life like, how the hell did I get to here? And, what am I going to do to turn this around? So that just reminds you that you could be at your lowest point. You could be at your lowest point and you too can get out of it. You can. This hits home for me too because I hit my lowest point, and you know what? It was an eye opener and a very deep lesson, and it just makes you realize, you too can get over it. You too can rise. You too can, overcome. Nothing is impossible with determination. Nothing is. So I'm very happy that Will shared this tidbit with us in that book. He is making me want to really cop this book. You know that, right? He's making me want to cop this book because the amount of stuff that he is just giving out, this is going to be like, this might be my fall book read. I might start a little book club with everybody. What do y'all think? A book club? And we could just go and, read this book and, do some members only or something like that, a little chit chat about the book. What? Okay, so he says, I won a Grammy 8 months ago. Like, what is happening? And it's just a spiral. When it starts going the other way, it's like sometimes you just have to get out the way and wait until the downward spiral stops. I feel you. Ooh, I feel you on that one. Sure. So, what do y'all think about that? Pretty deep, huh? So then you got him. This is the last on Willie Will. Because Willie Will got the runs of the mouth, I tell you. So Will Smith talks to Oprah Winfrey about whether or not he and Jada Pickett Smith have an open marriage. Like he is just like there must be something going on because I don't know what it is, but I feel like this is like a cleanse and a purge. Like this whole thing with August Alsina really opened up something in their marriage where they have just decided that there is just all bets are off. They are coming completely clean on both sides of the street with everything of how they feel and everything. They don't care if it's embarrassing them. They don't care if it's embarrassing the children. They feel like they need to get it all off their chest, and that once they get it all out there is nothing left for the press to like grab onto anymore because everything's been laid pretty much bare in a book or in an interview or somewhere online. So there's nothing for you to come after them about. That's what it feels like to me. It's like a purging, a cleansing for these two. Well, let's get into what he says with Oprah, okay? Will Smith knows people are trying to make sense of their marriage. Their relationship has long been a buzzy topic, reaching a peak last year when Jada admitted to a prior sexual relationship with August Alsina while married. He recently admitted he too was unfaithful to Jada Pickett Smith. So, in a new interview with Oprah Winfrey to promote his memoir, Will, the actor, answered questions about his non traditional marriage. Ooh, child. On an Apple TV, the Oprah conversation, Winfrey tried to get answers like when she asked how long they were separated, which they had both previously said they were. Hmm. Okay. She said people never actually understood the duration and wanted to know if it was months or years. Well, let's see how the sidestepping combo goes down. Because you know there's gonna be a little shuffle, sidestep, swipe, dodge, dip, matrix. So yeah, it's really funny. We never actually like officially separated. Will 53 finally replied, presumably meaning by legal definition. He pinpointed Jada's 40th birthday. I don't know what it is about the big 4-0. This was in September 2011. I don't know what it is, but the big 4-0 seems to be that pivotal moment for both of them because it keeps on being brought up. So, what is the deal with this 40th birthday? All right, let's see. As when things came to a head, as he had spent 3 years planning an elaborate party, as she hated the whole thing. Can you imagine planning a party for somebody for 3 years in advance and they turn out to like basically be ungrateful and don't give a damn and hate it? What the hell? Can you imagine? I would love somebody to be planning a party for me from I Big 4-0. What? I'd be like so over the moon if somebody planned my 40th. Oh my God. I want a party for my 40th. Okay, whatever. Let me get back into this. Okay. We realized that it was a fantasy illusion that we could make each other happy. Will said, we agreed that she had to make herself happy and I had to make myself happy. Then we're going to present ourselves back to the relationship already happy versus demanding that the other person fill our empty cups. He said, we just decided you have to figure out how to be happy. Though he admitted it was more from his side than telling Jada, go figure out if you can be happy and prove to me it's even possible. I'm going to do me and you do you. In the book, he wrote, our times apart helped us both to discover the power of loving freedom. We simultaneously 100% bound together and 100% free. We agreed that we both are imperfect people doing our best to figure out how to figure out how to be in this world joyfully. Winfrey asked him to explain what loving in freedom meant and whether it means they're in an open relationship. Like, in other words, Willie Will, like, stop trying to, like, sidestep, swipe, shuffle away. Okay, so here's the answer. You love in freedom with everybody except your partner, he said, explaining how people tend to give room in their relationships with friends and their growing children. So it's not as demanding or restrictive as a marriage can be with him and Jada. It's friendship versus marital prison. Wolfie asked if that meant they can have other sexual partners without bringing up Jada's relationship with Alcina and Will recently revealed infidelity. So we talked about everything. I think the difficulty that people have and the difficulty in discussing it is people only think in terms of sex. He then downplayed whatever side flings they may have or had going on. Didn't I say? Doop, swipe, block, pass. People are trying to put something on it. Will and Jada, what they're doing with other people. He said, mocking the speculation. Will and Jada ain't really doing too much of nothing. He said, Will and Jada are on a spiritual journey to cleanse the poisonous, unloving parts of our heart. And we're doing it together in this lifetime, no matter what. He added, but the goal is not a sexual goal, it's a spiritual goal. We are going to love each other no matter what. So, in other words, no matter what goes down, whether they're both freaking off, their individual partners, whether their relationship is no longer husband and, the traditional wife relationship, whether they're not going to be, going through this journey, love it, in love with each other, like a married couple traditional kind of thing, they're going to be still spiritually bonded with each other. You get what I'm saying? Okay, they are basically going to be friends to the very end, no matter what. There's no divorce with these two. They have decided hell or high water, misery or happiness, they are going to remain with each other because Will does not want to have another divorce underneath his belt. He is refusing to have a divorce. And if that means he has to be in a life of misery, then so mother flipping be it. And I tell you, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Will went on to say, since we are talking about it, Oprah, let's just talk about it, okay? No woman can make me happy. What is that? What? What did he say? Did he just say what I thought he said? Yeah, he just said that. hmm He said, what? Ooh, yeah. Shit. Like I heard some ish before, but he done took the cake. Okay, and he just said it. No woman can make me happy, so I don't need to look for one to try and make me happy. No man can make Jada happy, so she don't need to go look for one to make her happy. We both know that. There is no person that will fill your hole. Really? He then laughed. That was probably not the best way to say that, but y'all know what I mean. No, 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 Jay. No, 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 Will and Jada. We don't know what you mean. Explain this. Okay. The spiritual journey is finding your joy and bliss without vampirically using others. In other words, you're trying to figure out a way that they could stick in this mother effing muck of a relationship that they got going on over there without sucking the life out of others to, keep their ish going. Okay? They are trying to figure out how they could find joy without continually using other partners to fill the void of this relationship that should have probably been over a long time ago. But like I said, Will is refusing to end a marriage. He's made this decision and he's, basically living by this. Jada has basically put down her foot and put down that ultimatum that, yeah, there is no divorce. Okay. So this house is big enough that me and you could live on both other sides, our individual sides, and we ain't even gotta look at each other. And that's basically what she's saying in a nutshell, y'all. Okay. So yeah. So the will, so the will journey and the Jada journey is finding the joy without medications. What are they smoking? Finding that joy without distraction, you mean entanglements. It's about being able to find that contentment within yourself. In other words, stop cheating and how are we going to figure out how we're going to like each other's company with, with not, without the whole external stimuli, without, banging out other people. He continued, the spiritual process is detoxing all those things, not leaving your marriage so you can get some chocolate cake. No, it's no chocolate cake. It's no alcohol. It's not alcohol. It's not sexual stimulation. It's no sexual stimulation and all of that. The spiritual process is more about the detox than going to get more. In other words, they're going to try and like be with each other and like not well, try and like do it without all the extras that they've been using all these years to keep ish going, since they can't trust if somebody's going to open their mouth again and the whole stack of cards is going to be ruined. Okay, he added, I haven't talked about that publicly. Smith said his path to spiritual enlightenment include included going on a 14-day silent retreat and then going to Peru and using the our some kind of ayahuasca, our huasca, the plant-based psychedelic drug more than 12 times. I guess under he used it more than 12 times under supervision. He said one night after drinking this plant and questioning, do I have to be married? What is it? He had a vision of Jada as soil and himself as a seed. So, Jada is the base. Like he basically needs her. Like if you, basically Jada's like his spiritual backbone in his spine. He saw the hand of God putting them together and a beautiful tree growing as a result. Okay. The vision made him start thinking of his relationship with Jada as a fruitful interaction that is meant to feed the people around us, whether I like our interaction or not. What? I started feeling in my heart we were special together. We were condoned by the universe. So why is he putting this all out there? He said the memoir out November 9th and his new YouTube original series, Best Shape of My Life. He is facing his fears and stepping into his most fearful place. Love being the most fearful place you'll ever try to step into. Real love, that unconditional love, to be able to open a broken heart again and again. You know what, y'all? We gonna make a, I cannot wait for this premiere to premiere so we can all kiki and like digest and stop and pause on this whole thing. Like, what the heck is he talking about? Like, do you hear this? Too much. Like, honest, too much. So of course we got Kobe. Kobe Bryant's helicopter crash. Two families settled with the LA County for 2.5 million over alleged photo sharing of the fatal scene. Two of the families whose loved ones tragically passed away in the helicopter crash that also killed Kobe Bryant and his daughter have reportedly reached a settlement with the Los Angeles County in connection to the alleged leaking and sharing of photos from the 2020 crash site. I don't know why it feels like Kobe's been gone longer. It just feels like it. According to the Los Angeles Times, the Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors approved the 2.5 million to be split equally between the family of one. I don't really don't want to talk about the victims. One of the family and the other family. Per the settlement, $1.25 million will go to the widow, and I guess 1.25 will go to the surviving children of the other. All right. The LA County claiming they suffered emotional distress after, the victim's family are claiming that they were suffering emotional distress after the news outlet revealed through an investigation that the LA County Sheriff's deputy and firefighters took photos of the crash aftermath. The victim's family also alleged that the authorities shared the photos for purposes that had nothing to do with their investigation. So I'm glad that they were able to settle, and it's just so sad. It really is. It really is sad that Kobe's gone. It really is. And that's on Kobe. A quick little tea on Kobe. Now, YouTube news, y'all. Okay, we on YouTube. YouTuber Tati Westbrook, the one who did the Bye Sister. The one that did Bye Sister shuts down her beauty line, cites COVID and legal battles, y'all. Tati Beauty is closing its doors. We are no longer selling products online. And I said that with a heavy heart, the YouTube star said. YouTube makeup artist Tati Westbrook announced she was shutting down her beauty line, citing the pandemic and ongoing legal lawsuits surrounding her other brand that sells vitamins. In a nearly 9-minute video, Westbrook told her 8.7 million subscribers Thursday that Tati Beauty was closing its doors. We are no longer selling products online, and I say all of this with a very heavy heart. I have loved creating this brand. I had huge goals, dreams, visions for the future. But C-19 hit, and that definitely slowed things down. It slowed the whole world down. And then, of course, you guys are aware of outside litigations that really impacted my life in full. So that kind of like T-boned everything, and here we are today. In October 2020, Westbrook and her husband were sued by Clark Swanson, their former business partner and co-founder of the YouTuber's vitamin line, Halo Beauty. Swanson accused a couple of fraud, negligence, and breach of duty in their roles as owners of the Halo Beauty. Westbrook lawyer Douglas denied the accusations at the time, calling Swanson's claim meritless and absurd. In June, Westbrook revealed in a YouTube video that she sold her Los Angeles home and condo to support the ongoing legal battle. Damn. The makeup star was thrown into this national spotlight in 2019 after she uploaded a long video accusing YouTuber James Charles of disloyalty and saying he tried to bait straight men into relationships with him. And even after she did that, Tati Westbrook did do Bye Sister, which was huge. Look how much ish James Charles been in since. Oh my God. Okay, Westbrook said she had been having problems with Charles' behavior for a while, finding him inconsiderate and often offensive in the now mega viral video called Bye Sister, a reference to Charles, who calls his viewers sisters. I don't get that. Why does he call them sisters again? Okay. Charles responded at the time on YouTube, denying the allegations, of course. And more than a year later, Westbrook claimed in a new video that the YouTuber Jeffrey Messy Star and Shane Messy Dawson, racist Dawson, former friends of hers and Charles, had manipulated her and were behind the Bye Sister video. Bye Sister. Star has since apologized to Charles in a YouTube video, but didn't publicly respond to many of Westbrook's claims. Dawson responded in a Instagram live saying Westbrook was lying. She wasn't. In Thursday video, Westbrook added there was no drama, no hard feelings, no scandal behind her decision to close Tati Beauty. There's just timing of the world. Sadly, outside litigation had a huge impact, and that's just my life right now. And hoping for better days ahead. Westbrook's representatives did not immediately respond to any questions, but this is where it stands. So that's that with that. So that was a little bit of the YouTube news, y'all. Talk to you, blind sister. Okay, so now let's get up into this. Right, we did the Tati, Westbrook, by sister, and the James Charles situation. Let's get into Britney Spears, conservatorship, mental health battle, and everything else, y'all, because there's always some mess. For the longest time, it seems as though Britney Spears' dark days were finally behind her. After suffering a much publicized breakdown in 2007 and 2008, the Princess of Pop came out on top, taking home one award after another and landing a 4-year Las Vegas residency that grossed nearly $138 million. Gosh damn! When you talk about the money, money, no money, 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 come on. Money. Some people gotta have it. Money, money. Okay. Ooh. Okay. In February 2019, Spears was set to return to Las Vegas Strip for the Piece of Me follow-up, Domination. Ooh, Domination, okay. However, she announced a month before the scheduled kickoff date that she would be taking an indefinite work hiatus. And she did, to take care of her ailing father, Jamie Spears, who underwent a life-threatening surgery after his colon spontaneously ruptured the previous fall. Ooh. Britney subsequently went dark on social media, only posted in mid-January 2019 to commemorate the 20th anniversary of her debut album, Baby One More Time. She did not return until April 2019 when she posted on Instagram that she was taking a little me time. Within minutes, news broke that Britney had quietly checked into a California mental health facility in late March for a 30-day stay. A source told media outlets exclusively that the Grammy winner decided to seek help after stress of her dad's hospitalization and the complex process of changing the medications she had been taking for an undisclosed medication illness caused some complications. The news rocked the Britney army, which began speculating about the pop star's well-being and picking up the hashtag Free Britney movement launched by the co-host of a podcast dedicated to Britney's Instagram. Her sister, Jamie Lynn Spears, was quick to shut down unfounded rumors surrounding the toxic singer, writing via Instagram, I have been here long before anyone else, and I'll be here long after. I love my sister with everything I have. So anyone or anything that speaks to contradict or the contrary, can go, F the hell off, basically go to hell off somewhere. With all the comments about what you don't understand, do not come from me or the ones I love anymore. Britney herself spoke out later that day, assuring fans in a video message that all was well. The Crossroad actress has been unable to make major personal or financial decisions in her life without approval of her father since a court-appointed conservatorship was put in place in February of 2008. After her meltdown and her divorce from Kevin Federline, with whom she shares son Preston and Jaden, as a result of conservators, Jamie and the attorney had long been credited with saving Britney's life. Andrew abruptly resigned in March of 2019, leaving Jamie as the sole conservator until he temporarily stepped down that September following an alleged altercation with Preston, her son. Jamie was later clear of wrongdoing. Jody Montgomery has since assumed Jamie's position, though he still has partial control of Britney's estate. Britney spoke out against her conservatorship from the first time in June of 2021. The main reason why I'm here is because I want to end the conservatorship without being evaluated. You don't want to be evaluated. She said during a court hearing, adding, I just want my life back. It's been 13 years and it's been long enough. 2 months after Britney laid it all out on the table during her court hearing, Jamie filed documents agreeing to step down as conservator of his daughter's estate, asserting he does not believe the public believe that the public battle with his daughter over continuing service of his conservator would be in the best interest of her. Jamie was suspended as conservator of the estate in September 2021 before requesting 2 months later that the conservatorship end immediately. He has now been replaced by John until the end of December 2021. So you got shows perform like, oh my goodness, so much. So now let's see, we have so much going on with Britney. Like I really wish Britney the best. Do. But she got so much ish going on in her life, I tell you. Yeah, she really do. She got this whole situation with Britney. Like, and that was just, I wanted to give you like a backstory of Britney's situation. Because now Britney Spears' former manager, Lou Taylor, denies bugging the singer's bedroom, controlling her meds. In court documents obtained by different media outlets, Britney Spears' former manager, Lou Taylor, denied accused accusations of bugging her bedroom, monitoring her electronic communications. Britney Spears' former manager, Lou Taylor, has filed a motion to block a request for full accounting over the last 13 years of her TriStar Sports and Entertainment Group. Taylor and her team, which includes the singer's former personal assistant, Robin Greenhill, hit back at Spears' attorney, Matthew, in court documents obtained by the outlets. TriStar are arguing that they provided regular accounting during the 11 years, and neither Spears 39 nor her lawyer ever objected. TriStar also denies several accusations Spears has made, including that they bugged her bedroom, controlled her medication. No one at TriStar has ever had any control over Ms. Spears' medical treatments. On top of that, Britney Spears' mom, Lynn, is now requesting $650 something thousand in attorney fees as the singer slams her on Instagram. Like, Britney is going through a lot. Since it's like, honestly, since now this conservatorship is over and Jamie, the pit bull, is no longer there to basically, attack and put out these issues. All this stuff is coming out now. And now Jamie, now the mother, Lynn, now thinks she deserves 650 something $1,000, in attorney fees. You got TriStar coming in saying, look, we had nothing to do with your medication or bugging you. So, cease and desist, or it could turn ugly with this situation. Now it seems like everybody is going to want a piece of her because Jamie Spears was the one that was keeping all of these things back. Whew. So no one at TriStar has ever suggested monitoring Ms. Spears' electronic communications. No one at TriStar has ever had authority to approve security protocols. No one at TriStar is aware of any hidden. You see how it sounds very like statement, like document, like they're trying to dot their I's and everything. And if this narrative doesn't stop, possibly cease and desist and a lawsuit. You see how it's looking. No one at TriStar is aware of any hidden electronic surveillance devices placed in Miss Spears' bedroom. No one at TriStar has ever received any compensation related to Miss Spears or her estate that is not accurately reflected in the accounting filed or to be filed in this case. The motion did not address allegations that Spears was prohibited from going on vacation when she wanted and using her own money after, reaching a spending limit. Taylor's team argued that they did not represent Spears at the time her conservatorship began in 2008, and they played no part in its establishment. They started working with the younger singer Jamie Lynn Spears in 2005, and they only began working with Britney for her circus tour in 2009, according to court documents. Okay, then. The latest motion comes after Britney called out Taylor and her own mom, Lynn Spears, for prompting her father, Spears, to establish this conservatorship. So take your whole I have no idea what's going on attitude and go F yourself. You know exactly what you did, she wrote earlier this week in a since deleted post in response to her mother requesting more than 650 something $1,000 in attorney related fees. Everybody wants their coins now before the coins disappear. Now, her attorney has since questioned Jamie's motives for wanting to end the conservatorship. What do you mean? That's what y'all pressured him for it. You got it now, right? After requested all documents regarding communications, agreements, and payments between Jamie and TriStar back in August. For his part, Jamie has defended his role as conservator of Britney's estate and has insisted that he only ever had his daughter's best interest at heart. Mr. Spears loves his daughter, Brittany, unconditionally. For 13 years, he has tried to do what is best for her interests, whether as a conservator or as a father. The potential termination of the singer's conservatorship is expected to be addressed November 12th. So that is definitely coming up. Okay. And the top, you got Mama Dearest talking about Brittany's mom wants that 650. And now you got Brittany saying she secretly ruined my life. This is not good. As Britney Spears' conservatorship inches closer to an end, her mother Lynn is requesting more than 600 something $1,000 in attorney related fees. Oh, she's trying to get broken off. And a petition for payments filed on Monday. Lynn 63 requested that her attorneys be paid for by Britney's estate for their involvement in her conservative case. The request comes as Britney 39 slams her mother. You see how messy this is turning? Tuesday evening in a deleted tweet. Look, she is constantly deleting these posts that she puts up there. Psst, psst. My dad may have started the conservatorship 13 years ago, but what people don't know is that my mom is the one who gave him the ideal. Woo, child. Messy boots, messy boots. Do you believe this? This is so messy boots, man. Brittany wrote on Instagram, "I will never get those years back." Mm, mm, mm. So she ruined my life. Calling out both her mother and her former manager, Lou Taylor, in the post she wrote, "So take your whole I have no idea what's going on attitude and go F yourself. You know exactly what you did." Lennon Taylor did not immediately respond to people's requests or any other media outlet requests for comment. In the court filings for Fee Monday, Lynn attorney claimed that the pop star's mother reached out to them to help Britney free herself from what she saw as a very controlling existence. They also stated that they engaged in researching and vetting appropriate qualified expert doctors for Brittany in 2019, and later said they advocated for Jamie's removal from conservatorship. Lynn discussed joining the conservatorship as an interested party extensively with Brittany, and Brittany agreed and indeed asked her mother to join in the case in any capacity that would help to end her nightmare and the crisis she was enduring. As for the breakdown of fees, Lynn's attorney at Jones and Swanson stated that their fees amounted to 840 something thousand dollars, but were willing to apply a 40% discount and asked for 504 $504,000. The other fees were correspond goes with attorney fees at this Gisberg and other legal company, which requested 146,548 in fees. So everybody want their coins now. Everybody want their coins. Now everybody's coming to get her for her coins now. The attorney fees are set to be discussed during a December 8th court hearing, following the November 12th hearing, where Judge Brenda Penny will decide whether or not to terminate Britney's conservatorship. In court documents submitted by Jamie's attorney, Alex, Monday, the father of the pop star requested that her conservatorship be immediately terminated. Britney recently testified, and Brittany's recent testimony and requests to take personal control of her estate and affairs have been made clear that continuing the conservatorship is contrary to her desires. Jamie seems Jamie sees no reason why the conservatorship should continue for any amount of time and asserts he has no interest in the conservatorship continuing. So that's good. Jamie unconditionally loves and supports his daughter, full stop, and he has done so for her entire life. Now he feels for the last 13 years that includes the serving as a conservatorship. Now it's time for it to end. However, Jamie filing comes after Brittany's attorney Matthew claimed that Jamie had ulterior motives for unexpectedly wanting an end to the conservatorship, questioning whether the pop star's father was motivated by a desire to bolster his reputation or to avoid his deposition or responding to outstanding discoveries served on him in August. Now we move on. We have the Astro World Festival, y'all. At least 8 dead and many injured after the crowd surge at a Travis Scott Astro World Festival in Houston. This is sad.
We had gotten to the stage that Travis Scott was performing about like 6:30, so like 3 hours before he was supposed to perform, because we wanted a good spot. And as time went on, it just kept getting more crowded and more crowded and more crowded. But then he started a countdown about 30 minutes before he performed. He started a timer on the big screen, and all of a sudden, people just compressed up against each other and were pushing forward and backward. And as the timer got closer to coming down to 0, it got worse and worse. And I looked at my boyfriend Sam, and I told him, I was like, we have to get out of here, because I just felt, I was having constant pressure on my chest, constant pressure on my back. It was from the side, I was being squeezed. I tried to lift up my arms to make more room for myself. It wasn't working. So right when he started performing his first song, I looked at my boyfriend. I said, "We have to get out of here." He said, "I can't. We can't. We couldn't." And then I just remember looking up and passing out. And then I was in and out.
What the hell? She couldn't get out? Looking up and passing out?
Out for a little while. I didn't see anything, but I could kind of feel what was going on. Someone pulled me over a fence, and I
Wow.
was sat in a chair. And then I passed out again. And when I woke up, I was in a different area in a chair with a water bottle in my lap.
Mm, mm, mm.
In America,
Do you hear
flirted
this?
with legalized prostitution, where
Ooh,
gays were
this is crazy. This situation with this whole Astroland, Astro World Festival, it's not good. Dozens, Astro Live, this is not, it's not, dozens were injured at the performance. So sad, man. I can't. One of the 8 people killed in Friday's Astro World Festival disaster has been identified as a Memorial High School freshman by school administrators. A ninth grade student died during the incident. Our hearts go out to the student family and to his friends and our staff at the memorial. This is a terrible loss, and the entire MHS family is grieving today. So
welcome back.
At least 8 people have been killed and hundreds others injured after a huge crowd surge at the opening night of the Astro World Music Festival in Houston, Texas. A sold-out headline showed a sold-out headline show by rapper and festival organizer Travis Scott on Friday night turned deadly when guests began pushing towards the front of the stage, crushing some of the reportedly leaving them unable to breathe. The show was called off, and 17 people were transported to the hospital, including 11 who were in cardiac arrest. Over 300 people were also treated at the scene, where a field hospital had been set up. The crush began just before 9 p.m. local time, with some 50,000 people in attendance. On Saturday morning, the mayor of Houston vowed to leave no stone unturned as his government investigates the accident. While Mr. Scott, he said, was absolutely devastated in a message of love to his fans. Live stream footage of the event showed the rapper pausing his performance as the ambulance arrived at the venue. What happened at Astroland? What happened at Astroland? I keep saying Astroland, but what happened at Astro World? I don't know why I keep saying Astroland. Don't know why. Astroworld. Everything we know about the mass casualty incident at the music festival. I don't know why it does that. There you go. Because I wanted to play the thing that he says, but I can't play because first thing that come out is some damn music. So tragedy struck Friday night as more than 50,000 people gathered for the third annual Astro World Music Festival founded by rapper Travis Scott. At the site of the former Houston Six Flags Park, at least 8 festival goers were killed and scores more injured after a crowd surge that forced organizers to stop the show. Officials declared a mass casualty incident around 9:30 Friday. 8 people were killed in the chaos at Astro World Festival, and dozens more were injured. The victims, who lost their lives, range from age 14 to 27, the mayor told a press conference on Saturday. The families of 6 of the 8 victims have been notified, officials say, but they are still trying to reach another, and the 8th is a male who has yet to be identified. 5 of the victims still in the hospital are under the age of 18. Signs of potential crowd control issues came early in the day when people were reportedly hopping turnstiles, fences to enter the sold out festival without tickets, which led to a crowd size organizers were unprepared for and overwhelmed medical units. See, from that point on, that concert should have been delayed to bring in more reinforcements. Matter of fact, there should have been more reinforcements brought in when it got to that point. When they saw people bussing through the turnstiles, jumping it, crowds surging, pushing, you could see you could see the cops on the horses. They looked overwhelmed. Hmm. Travis Scott himself did stop the show several times to point out people near the front who were in distress or needed help, and he would get security to come and help them. Okay, I don't think he was aware of the extent of what was going on. Another attendee said, in the front, there was a lot of jumping. If you didn't jump, you would fall and get trampled on, definitely. The crowd is pushing back and forth. If you were even a little tired, you're going to fall. Houston Police Executive Assistant Chief Larry Satterwhite was near the front of the crowd at the time of the surge. Suddenly, we had several people down on the ground experiencing some type of cardiac arrest or some type of medical episode, Mr. Scatterwhite told the Associated Press. And so we immediately started doing CPR and moving people right then. And that's when I went and met with the promoters and Live Nation, and they agreed to end early in the interest of public safety. The victims had not been identified as of Saturday morning, and all remaining Astro World performances were canceled. Houston Fire Chief Samuel Pina and other officials had held a somber news conference in the early hours of Saturday following the incident. The crowd began to compress towards the front of the stage, and that caused some panic. And it started causing some injuries. People began to fall out, become unconscious, and it created additional panic. Officials transported 17 people to the hospital, including 11 who were in cardiac arrest. It wasn't clear whether all 8 who died were among the 17 that had been transported to the hospital. Many people were also treated at the scene at the field hospital that had been set up. About 300 people were examined at the site throughout the day. A reunification center has been set up at a Houston hotel for family members who had not been able to reach their festival goers. Authorities were looking to connect family with festival goers who were transported to the hospital, some as young as 10 years old, said Harris County Judge Linda, calling the incident an extremely tragic night. Our hearts are broken, she said. People go to these events looking for a good time. It's not the kind of event where you expect to find out about fatalities. Investigators are looking into what caused one, the issue of the crowd surge, and two, what prevented people from being able to escape the situation. Houston Police Department Chief Troy said he's sending investigators to the hospital because we just don't know. Honestly, you need to do what maybe might have been permanent barriers might have been needed to be put in place. You know how you get the crowds to go in into like a design. They go in and they like goes in a snake like flow. So there's always a barrier in between. So even if the crowd tries to surge, you cannot surge because there are barriers in place. So you can't surge in. And there should be security that on the sides. So you could go in, you could come in, do the thing, right? Everybody could be in their own line watching the concert. But if you try to surge, it's impossible for you to surge because you have people on horses, the cops on horses in place, keeping you from leaving unless you're going to the bathroom. But you trying to surge ahead, it makes it impossible. So something like that, where they have permanent like barriers in place to keep people from being able to surge, that's the only option I can see. Or crowd control, or keeping crowds in certain packs. Yeah, I mean that's about it. But that's what I would do. Okay, so Houston Mayor Sylvester Turner said Saturday that nothing is off the table in terms of persons who were there. People who may have fainted, it is way too preliminary now to draw any conclusions. Both Travis Scott and Houston authorities have extended their condolences to families of the victims. Okay. Kids and young individuals that were out there, if you saw something, say something. This is now a criminal investigation that's going to involve our homicide division as well as narcotics. And we're going to get down to the bottom of this. Houston authorities on Saturday urged the public to come forward with information and not to buy into these theories spreading on social media, while reiterating that they were ruling out nothing as they proceed with their investigation. One of the narratives was some individuals was injecting others with individuals with drugs. We do have a report from a security officer that he was reaching over to restrain or grab a citizen and he felt a prick in his neck. According to Chief Finer, the officer fell unconscious and was revived with Narcan, which is administered to counteract opiate overdose. My gosh, what kind of issues going on here? Who would? Oh, that's crazy. Okay. Houston Fire Chief Samuel said he could not provide an exact number of Narcan administrations, but there were several or many where they administered Narcan on scene. According to Saturday's press conference, more than 520 Houston Police Department officers were working at the concert, but 520 versus 50,000 people, nope, ain't enough. You needed at least, honestly, you needed about 10,000. You needed 10,000 police or more to deal with that situation. You needed to call in other counties to have at least 10,000 on hand to deal with a crowd of 50,000. So let's see what happens. Let's see what happens here because they're going to get to the bottom of it. This is just sad. It really is sad. It is. So now the last of the story today we got for you. We're down to our last two stories, and one is Idris Elba thinks that Luther can be on the level of James Bond film. Okay, so say goodbye to that that one look of Bond. Bond is just they never changed up Bond. Bond was always a white man, but Luther, you got this chocolate brother with that English accent as Luther. So the 49, oh my gosh, he's 49. He looks good for 49. So the 49-year-old actor is set to reprise the role of DCI John Luther in a Netflix movie based on the hit BBC detective drama. And he thinks they can keep fans of the TV show happy while taking the story and characters into a new stratosphere. He says to media outlets, Luther, we have an incredible appetite to satisfy the audience that love Luther in its current form as a TV show, but also bring it into a new sphere with this film version. I don't want to be controversial, but people imagine me as Bond, and that's great. But I can't wait to see them as Luther, okay? In this movie, really, our ambition is to take it there. Before the Luther film, Elba features in the Netflix new all black Western, The Harder They Fall. And while he wasn't surprised by the quality of the film, he was delighted with the timing and response to the request and the release. He said, we expected this. I can say this to the writer and the director, and all of us, we didn't expect it to hit in the way it has. This film has been brewing for a long time, but the climate of where the world is and the appetite for something like this, we could not have written. It is Black History Month in the UK, and here you have a Western with Black characters that people don't even know about and forgot about. It hits so hard. We couldn't have expected that, but everything that he envisioned from the first time when he's telling you about the scenes, takes his guitar and starts singing the score, we expected it to be what it is. So that's his opinion on Luther and also on the harder. The harder they fall. Okay. We also have to say very sad news to the beautiful Brazilian singer who was 26 years old that lost her life in a plane crash. It's very sad. Like, I don't want to touch too much on that. But we don't. Okay. So Kanye West's bizarre new haircut was modeled after Britney Spears' shaved head during her 2007 breakdown, The Phobia of Mental Health. That's why I did this haircut. But also the thing is with Kanye is a walking, bag of contradiction because in his interview with Drink Champs, Nori, he says the reason why he got that haircut and what his haircut is, ain't like birds. It's supposed to be represent doves or something like that, or in his head and stuff. So how to go from that to now it's mental health? But hey, what do I know? In mid-October, Kanye West raised a few eyebrows when he unveiled a bizarre haircut that looked a little bit like someone took a weed whacker to his scalp. The choppy, uneven do was apparently paying homage to Britney Spears' infamous shaved head, which the pop princess assured herself during a mental breakdown in 2007. But honestly, he says that this is supposed to look like birds. On Thursday night, West was a guest on the Vivo TV podcast Drink Champs, and he revealed in a 2-hour conversation that he called the unexpected style the Britney. The phobia of mental health, that's why I did this haircut. The 44-year-old rapper said the declaration of insanity is a form of control. At first, I called it the Britney. Now they call it the Yay. But in the interview, he said that the person that was cutting his hair kind of messed up his hair and was kind of like, really nervous because he like jacked up Kanye's hair. And Kanye then went home and he decided to like line up himself and do little things on his own head too now. Now all of a sudden now it's about Britney. Okay. He continued in a somewhat unhinged matter. I'm glad they're saying unhinged matter. The fact that my haircut and my new name came at the same time was something. This was harder than wearing the Trump hat because my image is important. I'm fly. And as a black man, your haircut means so much. Ye explained that he started the chop himself, but ended up turning the clippers over to a barber, accounting for the extreme unevenness. I thought he said in the interview that he started with the barber. Okay, I'm a process artist. So when you see the hair, it's a representation of my thoughts developing. Oh my God. In 2007, Britney's artist Britney infamously shaved her head at a hair salon in Tarzana, a suburb of Los Angeles, one day after she left a rehab facility. Britney later re-entered the treatment center. I wish so many other people would. During Ye's wide ranging podcast interview, the father of four took the opportunity to air out some thoughts on not only Big Sean, but singer John Legend as well. First, the Yeezy founder explained, I already decided that when I die on my tombstone, it's going to say, I deserve to be here. I signed Big Sean. The host didn't quite understand what Ye was getting at, and so he elaborated by adding, I'm saying the worst thing I ever did was sign Big Sean. He was referring to signing the Detroit rapper to his music label Good Music, where he recently completed his contract. John Legend was once part of Good Music brand as well. Continuing to let out his frustrations, Kim Kardashian's ex-husband noted about Big Sean, I changed this man's family. And both John Legend and Big Sean, when I ran for office, got used quick by the Democrats to come at their boy. They actually changed their life. Ooh, and that's some sellout stuff. And they don't rock with neither of them anymore. I need an apology. Before the pre-recorded podcast episode aired, the What You Expect artist tweeted, "I just got asked to be on the next Drink Champ, so I'm assuming Ye's talking crazy." After the show, he tweeted an updated saying, I can't wait to go on Drink Champs now. Another topic that the outspoken star touched on was his relationship with Kim. He emphasized that's still his wife. Another topic outspoken star touched on was his relationship with him and saying that was still his wife. In the conversation, which appeared to have been recorded early in October, based on the freshness of his shocking haircut, Kanye said he was not even divorced from Kim, the founder of Skims, and added that he hasn't seen the divorce papers yet. He showed vulnerability, stating that my kids want their parents to stay together, and then adding, I want us to be together too. So, what do y'all think about all of this? This is just too much. So much. It is too much. Too much. Too much. Too much, babe. I gotta run for shelter. I gotta hit the shade because it's too much. Too much. Too much, babe. It's too much. But that is it. That is the final bit of tea that I have for you. So, what do y'all think about all these stories that I talked about? So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a couple minutes because I want when I do this in the premiere, that y'all have, it has enough time for people to talk and talk down here and, talk about stuff and everything. So I hope y'all like this trending topic. Some of it was a little sad. I can't front. Some of this was sad. It was. Kanye. So do you think Pete Davis is dating Kim, or do you think this is all some publicity stuff? Because I think it is kind of publicity. And what do you think about Tati, ending her company? Let me just see something because I want to see like what is she like? What does Tati? They can give you like an estimate. I want to see like what does Tati make on here? Like I want to estimate like is she really? So she's making $21,000 per month on this bad boy. Okay, $21,000. Okay, and she is her estimate is she's doing anywhere between 15,000 to $254,000 per year on YouTube. But as of Wednesday, the 11th, the 3rd, the 11th is meaning November 3rd, she lost 10,000 subscribers, y'all. On a daily, she's losing 1,000. Weekly, losing 7,000, and monthly, she's losing about 30,000 subscribers. So, what is causing this migration from her channel? Something's causing it because it's like in of May of 2019, she had like 4,000. She was at 4 million. And like ever since, you could say like October, like up to October of 2021, she lost 20,000 subscribers. In September, she lost 30,000 subscribers. In July, she lost another 30,000 subscribers. In May, another 30,000. In April, 40,000. So she's in February, 30,000. In January of 2021, she lost 50,000. December 20th, 50,000. November, 40,000. So she steadily has been losing subscribers. What the heck is going on with her? I guess these lawsuits and everything with this vitamin halo company, maybe she should have just stuck to, slinging makeup, girl. Maybe we should have just stuck with slinging makeup and you would have been fine because now, listen, you got a whole lot of problems going on here, girl. So on that note, let me end this live. Well, it's not a live. You know what I mean. I'm going to end this. So I guess this is defined. That was all the hot topics. Hot topics. How you think I did, Miss Wendy? I think I did pretty good. That tea was exceptionally good today. It sure was. It sure was some good tea today. All right, and on that note, I'm out. I see you all in the premiere. Okay, because I will be premiering this and we could kiki and chat in the comments together. All right, see y'all soon. Bye. Hey, gotta go.